Good morning, everyone. I'm Mark Mealy, the Senior Vice President for Policy at the US-ASEAN Business Council. We are so glad you all could join us today, and we'd like to welcome you to this very special occasion as the USABC bids farewell to a dear friend of the Council, His Excellency Ambassador Thani Thongphakdi of the Royal Thai Embassy. While the Council wishes we could celebrate this much-deserved promotion with the Ambassador and his friends in person, we hope that this visual event will show our appreciation for the Ambassador's numerous efforts during his time here in Washington to deepen US-Thailand business relationships and to share Thailand's perspectives on key regional issues. I would like to invite our Chairman, President and CEO Alex Feldman to give a few opening remarks.
Thank you, Mark, for that introduction. Ambassadors, officials, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today in our event to bid farewell to Ambassador Thani. In normal times, we would be holding an in-person event to celebrate the ambassador. But as you know, COVID-19 has pushed us to come up with creative ways to continue engagements, and this virtual event being one of them. As many of you already know, Ambassador Thani has been Thailand's ambassador to the United States since September 2019. He is leaving his post to become the next permanent secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, a well-deserved major promotion. Ambassador Thani, it seems just like yesterday when we were welcoming you to DC in person. However, when we think back on all you have done to advance US-Thai relations, it's hard to believe you've only been here for a year. Your unwavering commitment to furthering the development of US-Thailand business relationships is truly commendable. We greatly appreciate your engagement with the Council and our members. And we look forward to once again working with you in Thailand, as well as welcoming Kun Busara Kunchanalai back as as charge, a role she played before your arrival as well. And we know she will guide the embassy until your replacement arrives here in Washington, and she will be great. I want to mention that we have distinguished guests here today, including all 9 ASEAN embassies represented. And I want to thank Ambassador Sabini Ali from Brunei, Ambassador Sonri Chom from Cambodia, and newly arrived Ambassador Muhammad Lufti from Indonesia, and your great friend, the Deputy Chief of Mission and former Charge d'Affaires from the Indonesian embassy, Pa Iwan Freddy Hari Sutanto, as well as Ambassador Kampang Avalan from Laos, and Ambassador Azim bin Zambadi from Malaysia, Ambassador Ong Lin from Myanmar, Ambassador Jose Ramaldez from the Philippines, Ambassador Ashok Mapuri from Singapore, and Ambassador Ha Kim Nok from Vietnam. We are so glad that they could join us today and be part of this special celebration. I also want to recognize a few friends from the U.S. government who could be with us, including Assistant for Southeast Asia, Assistant USTR for Southeast Asia, Carl Ehlers, as well as Acting Undersecretary of Commerce for International Trade, Diane Farrell, and former U.S. Ambassador to Thailand, Glenn Davies. Thank you all for being with us. And I finally want to recognize those companies that have made today possible, at our gold sponsor, Chevron, our silver sponsor, Guardian Industries, and our bronze sponsor, Lockheed Martin. I want to thank you all, and I hope you enjoy today's event. With that, I'll turn it back to you, Mark.
Great, thank you so much, Alex. Mr. Ambassador, as Alex noted, your ASEAN diplomatic colleagues have certainly will miss you. You've been an important member of the team here in Washington of the 10 ASEAN embassies. Your colleagues have really prepared a special compilation of messages they want to deliver it for you. So we'd like now to turn to the ASEAN ambassador's video message, please. Thank you.
Good morning. Let me first of all thank Alex, Liz, and ASEAN-US Business Council for organizing this event to commemorate the appointment of Ambassador Thani as the Permanent Secretary at the Foreign Ministry of Thailand and to bid farewell Ambassador Thani, my congratulations to you for appointment, and also our best wishes to you and your wife. We remember fondly that you had coffee with us when you first arrived here in DC as Ambassador of Thailand. And for me, I appreciate the contribution you have given to ASEAN-US relations, ASEAN Committee in Washington. You have added values and presence here in DC. Let me say on behalf of my colleagues also in the embassy, our heartfelt congratulations and best wishes to you. And we look forward to welcoming your successor soon. Thank you.
Hi, Ambassador Thani. Sorry to hear that you hate to leave us soon. I appreciate very much your work experiences and your contribution in the activity conducted by the ASEAN Committee in Washington, D.C. I am pleased with the excellent relation between us and our two missions here. I strongly hope that the relations of friendship and cooperation which so happily exist between our two countries and people will be further strengthened during your tenure of this important role in the Thai Foreign Ministry. I wish you all the best and more success and look forward to meeting each other in the future.
Hey, Ambassador Thani, once again, congratulations on your new post. I think you have been chosen the right person to the right position. Once again, on behalf of Lao Embassy, I congratulate and thank for your contribution during your short time period living, working in DC to contribute to our ASEAN family. And we do hope that your National Day and your ASEAN Day celebration give us a long memorable in terms of Thai food, Thai smile. I do hope to see you again in Bangkok in the near future. Have a good trip, you and your wife, back to your homeland, Thailand. Thank you.
Hi, Thani. On behalf of the Malaysian Embassy in Washington, D.C., and of course on behalf of myself, I would like to congratulate you for your appointment as the new permanent secretary of the Thai Foreign Ministry. We wish you all the best, it's going to be very difficult to see you go. You've been a good friend, and best of luck to you. Thank you.
Hi, Ambassador Thongphakdi. I would like to express my heartiest congratulations to you on your appointment as the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Kingdom of Thailand. I also wish to tell you how fortunate I am to have the chance to work together with you in Washington, D.C. I fondly remember the day we celebrated the ASEAN Day during the Thai's chairmanship in 2019 at the Royal Thai Embassy. Furthermore, Katie and I are very happy to have established friendship with you and Nopang during our stay in Washington, D.C. We will cherish and treasure our friendship forever. Finally, I would like to wish you further success, happiness, prosperity in your new endeavor.
Ambassador Thani, it seems only yesterday when we first met while you were doing your initial round of calls here in Washington. And no matter how fast time has passed since then, one thing for sure is that your stay here has been very productive, not only in terms of your country's bilateral relations with the United States, but also in terms of your exceptional support for all the ASEAN interests and the work of the ACW. It has indeed been a very great pleasure working with you, and though the pandemic may have somewhat limited the scope of the ACW's activities in recent months, together with our ASEAN colleagues, we kept up the momentum and continued to engage our host government in many important areas. My wife and I will also remember the time we enjoyed your ASEAN Day, and I certainly will miss that, especially last year at the Thai Embassy, as well as the Thai National Day reception you hosted at the Fairmont Hotel in December. I certainly hope to see you again soon, sometime, maybe, which is one of my favorite cities. Thank you again. Good luck to you and the best of health to you and your wife.
Hello. Just over a year ago, Ambassador Thani came to see me at the Singapore Embassy. He was new in Washington, D.C., and the courtesy we have among ASEAN ambassadors is to call on each other to introduce ourselves when we come to town, pick up some tips, and start a relationship. And with Thani, it was an instant friendship, a warm smile, and a great sense of humor. That's what I'm going to miss as he leaves, but I'm very happy that he's been promoted to a very large job, and we will have opportunities to stay in touch with him. To the US-ABC, one of the rituals that we have as well is you do these welcome lunches and farewell lunches for incoming and outgoing ambassadors. I'm glad you've taken the effort to pivot and at least give us an opportunity to say farewell to a good friend and connect together in a call like this. Thank you very much.
A very good evening to everyone. First of all, I wish to thank the US-ASEAN Business Council and particularly President Alex Feldman for hosting this meaningful virtual farewell to our dear friend Thongphakdi. I believe that we all have mixed feelings when we have to say goodbye to you, Ambassador Thani. Congratulations on your wonderful term in Washington, D.C., though it has been cut short. It is a pleasure to work with you to strengthen the ASEAN-US strategic partnership. And we are all delighted as you got promoted as the Permanent Secretary for Foreign Affairs of Thailand. This promotion comes with greater opportunities and challenges, but I am certain that you will do great things in your new noble task. I hope our paths would cross again some days. Our best wishes are always with you and your family for good health, success, and happiness. Once again, I would like to thank US-ABC for your efforts to enhance stronger ASEAN-US trade and investment ties. We look forward to our further cooperation, including the post-COVID-19 economic recovery.
Your Excellencies, thank you so much for those wonderful tributes. I'm sure Ambassador Thani, I know I've often heard from previous ambassadors that the time spent here in Washington with your fellow ASEAN ambassador colleagues not only generate fantastic memories, but they certainly become long professional colleagues and friendships that you'll be able to carry with you as you move forward. At the Council, we are very fortunate to have a number of our member companies that are very supportive of the US-Thai business relationship. Particularly our chair of our Thailand committee is the Chevron Corporation. It is now my great pleasure to introduce the manager for the International Government Affairs at Chevron, Mr. JJ Ong, to say a few words. JJ?
Thank you, Mark. Good morning, everyone. It's nice to be with you virtually. I hope you are all healthy and well in your respective locations. So ambassadors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the US-ASEAN Business Council and the members of the Thailand Committee, it's my privilege to also welcome Ambassador Thani to this virtual council event today. As Alex has said and others have noted, Ambassador Thani has been steadfast in strengthening relations between the United States and Thailand during his tenure here in Washington. Unfortunately, too brief. But all of us are grateful for the ambassador's support for US businesses in Thailand. Chevron and the many other American companies gathered here this morning are proud of our relationship as trusted partners with the kingdom, and we are committed to continuing our investments and contributing to Thailand's economic growth for the future in the years to come. Mr. Ambassador, thank you for your work in promoting stronger relationship between our two countries during your time here this past year. Your efforts exemplify the long history of friendship and goodwill between our two nations and will go a long way to sustaining the US-Thai partnership. We look forward to seeing you in Bangkok one day in person when we're allowed, in your new role in the foreign ministry, and continuing to work with you and your colleagues to promote closer economic and commercial relations between the United States and Thailand. And now, without further ado, Ambassador Thani, the virtual floor is yours.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Alex and Mark, for organizing this virtual farewell for me. Let me also thank the ASEAN ambassadors for their attendance and very kind remarks. It has been a distinct honor and pleasure working with all of you to strengthen ASEAN-US ties, particularly in collaboration with the US-ABC. My thanks and appreciation also extend to all the other distinguished participants, in particular JJ for your remarks just now on behalf of Chevron, chair of the US-Thai Committee, as well as all the other sponsors. Dear friends and colleagues, not that I'm counting, but it has been 409 days since I arrived in Washington. As I may have told many of you, my time here has been all too short, and I've barely just scratched the surface of all that I had wanted to do, hampered by the lack of time and by the coronavirus situation and restrictions. Be that as it may, I am pleased that Thai-US relations have strengthened over the past year. As you know, the Prime Minister visited New York, the UNGA last year, and was warmly received by US business leaders. Here, I wish to once again thank the US-ABC and the US Chamber of Commerce for both arranging a wonderful evening for the Prime Minister to meet with many of your members. I also thank both organizations for helping make the second Indo-Pacific Business Forum in Bangkok last year a success. Over the past year, our economic ties have gone from strength to strength. Despite the challenges brought about by COVID-19, our trade continues to increase. During the first 8 months of this year, for example, while our trade with the world fell by just over 11%, with the US, they actually held steady and actually rose by 1%, which is some bright light, a bright spot in the otherwise gloomy global trade picture. Several Thai companies have increased their investments in the US. These include Thai Union's increased stake in Red Lobster, Bamboo's new shale gas operations in Pennsylvania and Texas, and Indorama's ethane cracker facility in Louisiana, to name but a few. We also hope that PTT Global Chemical will be able to finalize plans for its petrochemical complex in Ohio soon. At the same time, US investments in Thailand continues to grow. Last year, around $1.2 billion of new investments went into Thailand. And during the first 6 months of this year, despite the coronavirus situation, the Thai Board of Investments has approved more than $250 million in new investment projects by US firms. All of this augurs well for the future of our economic ties. And for this, I must thank the Council of the US-ABC for the pivotal role it has played in promoting US commercial ties with Thailand and with ASEAN as a whole. Your efforts in keeping our countries high on the agenda here in Washington is much appreciated. Indeed, having worked with the Council since 2001, when I was first here in my first posting in Washington, I must say that you, the Council, are true friends of Thailand and of ASEAN. Although I will be returning to Bangkok next week, I will continue to prioritize our ties with the United States, doing what I can for the capital to strengthen our partnership even further. Friend on the ground in Thailand. I thank all of you once again and look forward to welcoming all of you to Thailand in the not too distant future. So please look me up when you do go to Thailand so we can catch up and discuss what more we can do together. Thank you very much.
Ambassador, thank you very much for those wonderful remarks. I'm particularly proud, as you indicated, to see the continued maturation of the US-Thailand two-way economic and commercial relationship as companies from both countries look for investment opportunities in the other. Next, I would like to invite another member of the Council's, Rob Joyce, who's Vice President of International Government Affairs at Koch Industries, on behalf of their company, Guardian Industries, to lead a toast to you, Mr. Ambassador, as we celebrate your promotion and return back to Bangkok. Rob?
Thank you, Mark. Mr. Ambassador, esteemed ambassadors from across ASEAN, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Koch Industries, our company, Guardian Glass, all members of the US-ASEAN Business Council, we're all honored to be here today And we congratulate and thank you, Mr. Ambassador, for your service and your many contributions to the US-Thai bilateral relationship. Just to say a few words about our company as an example, I think, of hopefully a positive one. Guardian's one of the largest glass companies in the world and a leader in the research and development of advanced coatings used to manufacture energy efficient glass. And we first invested in Thailand 30 years ago. And since then, we've continued to grow, expanding and reinvesting in manufacturing plants that serve the Thai market and export around the world. Last year, Guardian launched headquarters for the Asia Pacific region in Bangkok. And we believe this sustained growth is a testament to Thailand and the close partnership we, like so many other companies, have developed with the Thai government and its people, notably our dedicated employees, some of the best, and our many customers. And like a lot of companies, now we're looking to the next phase. How can we continue to grow in Thailand with Thailand, inspired by sustained economic growth? And in our case, we certainly prioritize our mutual interest in the benefits of energy efficiency. And I just wanted to take the opportunity to say a few words about that issue. We do hope that Thailand continues to implement policies that will improve the energy efficiency norms for its buildings and other sectors. And by making buildings more energy efficient, Thailand will save energy at the national level and reduce costs for its citizens and businesses. And moreover, taking such concrete actions as upgrading building codes to align with international best practices will encourage more companies like Guardian to invest even more in advanced manufacturing capabilities. In our case, because our plants operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, continuously for 15, 16 years without stopping, we're a definite long-term investor. We're committed to remaining in Thailand with our employees and keeping preferred partnerships with our employees, our customers, and communities. And to conclude, Mr. Ambassador, as you soon return to Thailand to assume the new post as permanent secretary, we wish you the best on behalf of our company, all members of the council, and best wishes to you and your family going forward. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Rob, for that tribute. Definitely much appreciated. I would now like to return back to Alex Feldman, the program's final set of remarks and presentations. Alex, over to you.
Thank you, Mark, and thank you, Rob and JJ and Ambassador. Ambassador, we were encouraged by your remarks, and certainly we hope to live up to your expectations of supporting you in your new job. And we look forward to working with you closely in Bangkok. I do want to recognize again the ASEAN ambassadors who are with us today, and also the U.S. government officials. And I want to thank them for their time, including Ambassador Sarbini Ali from Brunei, Ambassador Sonri Chom from Cambodia, Ambassador Muhammad Lutfi from Indonesia, as well as your colleague in crime, former Charge from the Indonesian Embassy, Pak Iwan Freddy Hari Susanto, as well as Ambassador Kampong Alavan from Laos, and Ambassador Asmil bin Zabidi from Malaysia, Ambassador Ong Lin from Myanmar, as well as Ambassador Jose Romualdez from the Philippines, and Ambassador Ashok Mapuri from Singapore, and last but not least, Ambassador Ha Kim Nok from Vietnam. All of them were very pleased to be with you today, and we're glad they could be on the streaming event, along with our U.S. government colleagues, including Assistant USTR for Southeast Asia, Carl Ehlers, and Acting Undersecretary of Commerce for International Trade, Diane Farrell, and former U.S. Ambassador to Thailand, Glenn Davies. We're so glad that today, and I also want to thank our sponsors, Chevron, Guardian Industries, and Lockheed. I've got two more things to do before I close, and one of them is to give you a sneak preview of the welcome that is awaiting you when you get back to Bangkok. As you know, we've had an office there for over a decade, and it's been headed by our Chief Representative, Kun Prab Bianskol. Kun Prab wanted to say a few words to you to welcome you back. So Kun Prab, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Alex. Ambassador Thani, like Alex said, it seems only just like yesterday that the council hosted a lunch for you in Bangkok to send you off to DC. My colleagues in DC will be saddened by your premature departure, but one man's loss is another man's gain. So the Council of Bangkok looks forward to welcoming you back. Our member companies are already asking when US-ABC can organize a lunch for Your Excellency. I told them to be patient because, as we all know, during this period, as soon as you come back, you'll be whisked off to state quarantine for 14 days, no exceptions, and nobody's allowed to visit you. So I think it'll be more like mid-October before you're back at your desk. But sometime after that, we would like to host lunch for you just to give you an update on what's going on here in Bangkok. So safe travels and see you very soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Kumprab. We appreciate your coming in. Mr. Ambassador, you can say a few words. I'm sorry.
I just wanted to thank you, Prab, and I look forward to meeting with your members in Bangkok as well.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. And Mr. Ambassador, it is a long-standing council policy to ensure and tradition to make sure that we make sure that each ASEAN ambassador with whom we've worked leaves his or her post with a token of our appreciation. In that vein, I want to let you know that we have not forgotten you, even though this is virtual. And I think the physical gift is already with you in the embassy, but I wanted to present it to you virtually if we can. It is a special gift from us that we're delighted to present to you, and you're showing everybody as well on the stream. It's a beautiful picture and has special meaning to us. Obviously, springtime in Washington and the cherry blossoms and the tidal basin and the Washington Monument are a special time here, and certainly, hopefully, will remind you of your spring in Washington. They also were special because they were taken by one of our own employees. This picture was taken by our great friend Patrick Kahn, who is the head of IT for us, and he's also a great photographer and managed to capture this special moment that we hope you will treasure in Bangkok when you return and remember your year in Washington. For those of you who couldn't see it and read what we've written, the plaque reads as follows: to Ambassador Thani Thongphakdi, Ambassador of the Kingdom of Thailand to the United States, 2019 to 2020, with deepest respect and gratitude from the US-ASEAN Business Council. Mr. Ambassador, we are so grateful for your time today, and I really want to thank you for making carving out some time in your busy schedule as you get ready to leave. And I welcome any closing remarks you might have.
Well, thank you for this event, and thank you for the wonderful gift. I remember during Cherry Blossom earlier this year, we weren't really allowed to go to the basin and enjoy the scenery. So the picture that has been given to me will serve as a good reminder of my time here and of our friendship and collaboration with the US-ASEAN Business Council. Let me also thank all the participants today, particularly the ASEAN colleagues and ASEAN ambassadors who also took time off on their busy schedules to honor me today, as well as all the distinguished high-level officials from the US side, whom I very much enjoyed working with and look forward to continuing our work, moving ahead our relationship as we enter into the new stage in the post-COVID world, in the new norm. So once again, thank you to all of you, to all the members of the US-ASEAN Business Council. I very much look forward to working with you, despite the fact that I'll be in Bangkok, but perhaps we can do even more when I'm home. So thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. Thank you for your time, for your service to Thailand, but also for your service here in the United States and your great friendship to the US-ASEAN Business Council. We invite you back anytime to see the cherry blossoms, and I will personally vow to be your guide if you need one. But we hope the token of our appreciation will be hung somewhere where you can remember your friends in the United States. Thank you again, everyone, for being with us. We're grateful for your time, and we wish you all a great day. And Kumprab, have a good evening in Thailand. Goodbye from the US-ASEAN Business Council. Sawasdee krap.
Sawasdee krap.
So ladies and gentlemen, that concludes today's event. As always, again, we're very grateful for the participation of the ASEAN ambassadors, for our generous sponsors, Chevron, Guardian Industries, and Lockheed Martin. And of course, Ambassador Thani, the US-ASEAN Business Council, wishes you very, very all the best. Bye-bye.